Paulina, I cheated on you. Is this your joke? Paulina didn't believe it. Alexei continued to look at her with a guilty look, and she realized that her husband was not joking. There was a noise in her head. Her vision darkened. Paulina had to sit on a chair so as not to fall. Who is this woman? She asked through force. My colleague. But it was a mistake. It doesn't mean anything to me, Alexei said frequently. I love only you. Do you believe? They were married for 5 years. Paulina always thought that her beloved, dear Lisha would never betray her. And then this happened. And she didn't know what to do. Just don't get a divorce. Mother, to whom Paulina came to complain, said categorically, you have a good family and you have a child. Men share love and attraction. For them, intimacy is just a need. Like food. You won't be angry with your husband because he went to fast food before dinner, will you? Come home and forgive him. Fight for your happiness. Leave your grandson with me. Do your hair. Dress up and remind your husband what a beauty he married. Paulina did just that. Went to the salon and updated her wardrobe. Alexei, impressed by her transformation, invited his wife on a date, and they dedicated the night to each other. A few months later, Paulina received a call from her best friend. I just saw your husband in a restaurant with some girl. And she sent her a photo, and the ground disappeared from under her feet again. In the photo, Alexei was passionately kissing some blonde. When she showed him this photo, he immediately admitted, yes, we met a couple of times. This is an accident. Forgive me. A couple of times is not an accident, Paulina snapped. How could you do this again? Does our marriage mean nothing to you? Alexei grabbed her hand and kissed her fingers. Paulina, you and your son are dearer to me than anyone in the world, he exclaimed. Then why did you do it? Give me the reason. You are now busy only with your son. I have the impression that you no longer need me. I so wanted to feel like a man. No matter how angry Paulina was, she had to admit that the reproach was deserved. You're right. I forgot that I am a wife, and not just a mother, she said. Let's go somewhere together, like on a honeymoon? But promise me that you will break up with this girl right now. It's somehow wrong on the phone. I can't do that, Lisha doubted. Dial her number and give her phone here, Paulina demanded. She waited for the flirtatious hello, Kitty, and said, this is the cat's wife. I'm calling to say that he is leaving you, and if you meet him again, you will be very sorry. Alexei looked at her admiringly. I'm going so crazy, Paulina complained to her mother. Don't beat yourself up, and most importantly, don't show jealousy to your husband. Men don't tolerate control, my mother answered. It's better to be affectionate and beautiful. Take care of his needs, so that he doesn't have a reason to go to the left. Paulina listened to her mother. She began to take better care of herself and stopped shirking her marital duty. Alexei looked at her with admiration and gave her flowers almost every day. When Paulina finally forgot about jealousy, Ksenia appeared. The girl came when Alexei was not at home. Seeing her on the threshold, Paulina asked in a friendly manner, who do you need? I need you. Are you Alexei's wife? I am Ksenia, his future wife. Can I come in? Why did you come? Ksenia? Did you think I would be shocked and start crying? You are not Lisha's first lover. I have outlived everyone, and I will outlive you too. I'm not like others. You won't get rid of me. I am 20 years old. And you are soon 40? Your time has passed. Paulina grabbed the impudent woman by the hand and tried to push her out of the apartment. Ksenia twisted out of her hands, grinned like a snake and pointed to the bouquet that Lisha brought yesterday. What? Do the flowers fade quickly? This is because Lisha takes the cheapest ones. He bought all the flower liquid goods from me. Laughing joyfully, Ksenia finally left. Paulina slammed the door behind her, slid down the wall and burst into tears of resentment. So much time and effort has been spent trying to get the relationship back, and all in vain. Lisha followed the beaten path and lied to her. When Alexei returned home, Paulina bombarded him with information about impudent Ksenia. Paulina, this is not what you think, Alexei began. But Paulina stopped him with a gesture. This impudent girl came here to inspect her future possessions. Why did she decide that she would move here? Ksyuka is a completely abnormal girl, Alexei exclaimed. I'm going to my mother. And you think about how we will continue to live? Mom grabbed her head when Paulina told her everything. Mom looked at Paulina with sympathy and stroked her hair. Poor girl, but still, you left your husband in vain. It's better for the child to grow up in a complete family. Intrigues and other things are dust. Everything will go away, and you will remain with each other. It's easy for you to say. You and your dad had an ideal marriage. Mom smiled sadly. You're already a big girl, and your dad is dead, so there's no point in keeping a secret. Dad also went for walks, but he always came back, and I forgave. I knew that I was a queen for him. Maybe Mom is right, and male infidelity is the norm, Paulina thought. Even Dad, my ideal dad, did it. When Alexei came for her with a huge bouquet, Paulina said dryly, Okay, let's go home and we'll talk there. Just throw away the bouquet and don't buy it again. I hate flowers now. Paulina thought that everything would be as usual. Alexei would break up with his mistress. They would have another honeymoon. Everything would work out. However, Ksenia was not going to give up. She constantly called her husband on the phone and kept watch over him near the house. I can't send her, said Alexei. Dad taught me to be polite with women. I can't even be rude. You also can't refuse when they get into your pants? Paulina snapped. Ksenia somehow waylaid them when they were returning from the cinema and threw herself on Alexei's neck. He shied away so that he ended up behind Paulina, and she had to take the blow on herself. I've had enough of this mockery, she thought furiously and, stepping forward, gave Ksenia a resounding slap in the face. Behind him, Alexei gasped in delight. The girl grabbed her cheek and began to sob, and Paulina ordered, Leave, or I'll do it again. Ksenia wanted to scream, but looked at Paulina and changed her mind. When she left, Alexei said enthusiastically, Wow. Paulina wanted to slap him in the face too. Paulina became nervous and twitchy, and paranoia returned. She demanded access to her husband's phone and called him several times a day. Paulina considered every woman next to Alexei as a rival, even the elderly concierge. Paulina, what are you talking about? I'm not cheating on you. Alexei laughed. You can't cheat on women like that. Otherwise you'll end up in the emergency room. Alexei was now always in a good mood. He took his wife to restaurants, and instead of flowers he gave jewelry. One day Paulina came home and heard very characteristic sounds from the bedroom. She opened the door. There was a woman's scream. Then Alexei, smiling embarrassedly, got up from the bed. Paulina, I can explain everything, he began, but Paulina was no longer interested in his words. She looked at the woman in the bed, her best friend, the one who had once warned her about her husband's infidelity. The friend wrapped herself in a blanket and babbled embarrassedly. Lisha said that you broke up and you won't be at home. Paulina turned her gaze to her husband. He looked at her with remorse, but did nothing. He did not try to shield his mistress, did not drive her away, as if he expected this from Paulina. He even stepped aside, giving her way. He knew when I would come home. He knew. But still he brought this woman specifically to our house so that I could see her in our pastels. Did you specifically choose my best girlfriend? Paulina asked her husband. Did you decide to see how much I could forgive? Or did you want to force me to choose between you? He hinted that you were getting a divorce, said a girlfriend. Otherwise, I would never. We're really getting a divorce. Paulina interrupted her. Enjoy each other. Mom tried to shame her and return her to her husband. Alexei also tried to persuade her to return, accusing her of not loving him. And when, after the divorce, Paulina began dating a man, he came and began to reprimand his ex-wife. That's what you are like. You just got divorced and immediately went after men? And you said that you love her. So where is your love? Look for Ksenia in bed. You lost her somewhere there. Paulina snapped and slammed the door. Thank you for being with us. Give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and you will be the first to listen to another new story.